This is the Memory Palace. I'm Nate DeMeo. I think the coolest thing about Ben Franklin isn't that he invented bifocals, or flew the kite, or charted the jet stream, or loved the ladies, or invented the urine catheter, or invented a musical instrument that sounded like this. Or that he started the first volunteer fire crew, or that he's in the Chess Hall of Fame, or that he designed that kick-ass join or die poster with a snake cut up into parts representing each colony, or that he tried to change the alphabet so words could be spelled like they sounded. No. The coolest thing about Ben Franklin is that when he went to Europe during the Revolutionary War to get support from the French, he was so famous, and his electricity experiments were so groundbreaking, that there were people in Britain who were terrified of him. People who thought that if he could fly a kite and trap lightning in a jar, then he was probably actually in France sharing with the king's other mortal enemy some sort of secret weapon, some sort of electrical death ray. Because here was a guy who had harnessed the power of nature. St. Thomas Aquinas had written that lightning was God's wrath, that if you were struck by lightning, it was because you had ticked God off. And here was this chubby American guy who A, could bottle lightning, and B, had invented the lightning rod, which is like a shield for God's wrath. It's like saying, God, I know I might have done some bad stuff and you might want to smite me, but sorry, I just put a metal pole on my roof and now your little lightning bolts can't get me, so suck it. But of course, Franklin hadn't invented a lightning bolt gun, that he was just waiting to unleash in the redcoats. And a lot of the Franklin fear was just the kind of superstition stuff for the 18th century equivalent of tabloids or Glenn Beck. But the British government didn't take any chances. In fact, after someone had put a faulty lightning rod on one of its government buildings, and that building was struck by lightning and burned down, they assumed the whole lightning rod thing was a hoax concocted by Franklin to get the British to put these rods up that would actually attract lightning and burn the city down. They were so nervous about it that during their war against Napoleon, 220 British ships were damaged by lightning because they refused to put lightning rods on the masts. Meanwhile, the French, who had listened to Franklin, are just cruising around not worrying about lightning. That's the coolest thing about Ben Franklin.